Somewhere beyond the recesses of time and space, two podcasters are set adrift in a machine, picking up transmissions of movies that are forgotten but not gone.
Welcome to Movie Memory Machine, the only podcast about forgotten movies that knows more about hip-hop than hip-hop. Because I'm old, Truman, because I'm getting old.
I thought you were into hip-hop songs is what you meant there, so that shows how on top of things I am.
I am your host, Landen Solano, joined always by my co-host, Truman Caps. Truman, it's good to see you.
Landen, it is deaf to be seen. It's the opposite of whack, frankly. I think it's pretty bad being seen.
Well, I have a question for you. Considering all of your, up-to-date, super hip slang that you're slinging, the question is, who's dope, who's down, who's total sex?
I think I have a leg up because I've seen the movie, and also because based on the very simple rhyme scheme, I can work my way backwards to knowing it's Marci X. I think that otherwise, though, who's dope, who's down, who's total sex?
Yeah. Let's approach it like a marry, fuck, kill situation.
Okay,
Not
so
necessarily with the characters in this movie, just generally speaking, who's dope, who's down, who's total sex.
Well, I actually had an answer that I think ticks the boxes for all three, and that's acclaimed travel host Rick Steves, I think.
He's someone I don't know.
How do you not? He's if you go into any Barnes and Noble, one of the four that's left, you will see a Rick Steves like Guide to Italy or something like that. He is a dorky guy who knows a lot about like cathedrals or whatever trendy tourist destination. He had a show on PBS for a million years, but he's dope because he loves weed and has been a lifelong advocate for marijuana legalization. He is down to go to any country, and I think he's total sex. I think that underneath his kind of bookish exterior, I think Rick Steves fucks in a major way. So,
all right, that's the kind of mixture of objective and subjective perspectives you're getting here on Movie Memory Machine. You also like my rhyming scheme I just did there, right off the cuff?
I did like that. We've been influenced by Marci X to write some of the worst raps of all time. Okay, so do you want to fuck, marry, kill with it though? Like dope, down, total sex?
Yeah. Dope, down, total sex.
Landon's bobbing his head as he gets into the rhythm.
I'm trying to like, yeah, the total sex part is what's throwing me.
Yeah, that's what she said.
Like, okay, I don't want to just keep using people that are in the zeitgeist, but I would say while most people would probably label him as total sex, I would label Pedro Pascal as who's down, because he seems like he'd be down for things, just like hey, you grab a burrito? Yeah, I'm down.
There was some commercial I saw him in where it's like him walking around the streets while everyone around him is dancing, and then he kind of is just like walking very coolly and suavely through the streets. I'm like, that's a chill and laid back walk that he's doing there. And then he gets in the middle of the street and then he starts dancing too, and it's like, this guy looks chill when he dances. I think he's absolutely down.
Who's dope? I'm gonna say Steve Buscemi.
Oh wow! Tell me about how you got to that one. I don't disagree.
Yeah, it was more of a vibe. But then, as I sat with it for all of half a second, I'm like, oh yeah, I think he's dope. He's a volunteer firefighter.
True.
He has a killer resume.
And your resume is key to your dopeness. That's like all of you recent college graduates. You have to update your dopeness resume on LinkedIn to be considered for this category.
Well, I mean, like, you look at his resume and it's like, oh yeah, you're in some of the greatest films of all time and some of the worst films of all time, but you are having the time of your life in those horrible films that you're in. So like, I don't know, he's dope. I feel like he's got a reputation that's going to be hard to tarnish.
I'm just picturing Steve Buscemi like sitting there in that bar in Fargo being like, I'm very dope, Jerry. I'm the dopest guy in town. Don't fuck with me, Jerry. I'm dope.
That leaves who is total sex.
Can Steve Buscemi go twice? Is it possible?
I was considering it. I'm going to go with a wild card here. And and I'm gonna say Cookie Monster.
Holy shit. Never has a card been so wild. I mean, are we saying here that the term total sex maybe doesn't necessarily refer to that person as a sexual being, but then like maybe more of a confidence that they exude? I would hope.
Please God, yes. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Cookie Monster is very confident. I wish I could go into every situation with the unearned confidence of a blue monster who just wants to eat cookies.
Plus, it's Bela, my cat's favorite character. So
how do you know?
How do we know?
How do you know?
She has so many toys. She is an only child of an only child, and therefore she has
a monster.
Too many toys.
Yes.
And one of the only toys that she will play with is a small Cookie Monster plush that I had.
Okay.
And she played with it so much that she tore it to pieces.
Wow.
And I had to get her a second one because she refused to play with other similar toys.
It could be, though, that she hates Cookie Monster. Like, that she felt like she needed to like, get rid of this thing because he's a threat to her. I mean, I know she's very treat-oriented, so,
well,
you know, game disrespects game.
Yeah. Well, today the machine has made us watch Marci X from 2003. We are just stuck right smack here in this period of time, and
it's a rough.
We got it. There's like a log jam in the machine, and we have to get out of the mid-aughts. It's driving me crazy.
I feel like we only just took this thing into the shop for repairs, and already we've got to go back to the Jiffy Lube.
Yeah, we did. We got out of it into 2021, and we had a killer movie, and then we got sucked right back in. So,
yeah, we're geeking. We're geeking in the early 2000s. Much like I was in high school in the early 2000s.
Yeah. But we watched Marci X. Truman, please drop a beat, give us some bass, and synopsize this movie that's a total disgrace.
Word. When Gangster Raptor... I said Gangster Raptor.
Oh my God. Someone get Asylum on the phone. We are making better. Gangster Raptor.
I've already come up with a better movie than both Marci X and all of the recent Jurassic World movies.
Oh my God.
You know we're gonna get to that point eventually in one of these. Like the Raptors will form like an organized crime family that Chris Pratt has to negotiate with. Okay.
I can't wait.
When gangster rapper Dr. S, played by Damon Wayans, sparks a nationwide controversy with his explicit and provocative lyrics, it turns into a public relations nightmare for the corporation that owns his record label and its CEO, Ben Feld, played by Richard Benjamin. When Feld suffers a heart attack from the stress over the media firestorm, it falls to his daughter, Jewish socialite Marci Feld, played by Lisa Kudrow, to try and convince Dr. S to clean up his image ahead of a congressional hearing chaired by conservative Senator Mary Ellen Spinkle, played by Christine Baranski. As the wealthy, entitled Marci clashes with the streetwise, rebellious Dr. S, the two inexplicably fall in love. Marci X. Marci X. She's dope, she's down, she's total sex.
That's true. The song told me so.
Yeah?
You covered the cast pretty well. You didn't mention Jane Krakowski, but I'm sure you're going to get to her.
That's Jane Krakowski was the life preserver that I clung to throughout the maelstrom of this film.
The 84-minute maelstrom.
Imagine drowning for 84 minutes and being embarrassed, mortally embarrassed and cringing that entire time.
Oh, man, I have so much to say about that. I do want to mention, though, that Ben Feld, played by Richard Benjamin, is also the director of this movie.
Yep. Maybe he should have kept his eye on the ball. Maybe he should have hired an actor to play Ben Feld, and he could have focused on maybe making a movie that was perhaps slightly better than this one. I don't know.
We can talk a bit about his performance in this because I have questions about the kind of tone setting he's doing, but I don't want to get too far into that yet.
The only questions you have about this movie are just kind of the tone setting that Richard Benjamin did in his acting. Otherwise, airtight example of cinema.
Get ready for 2 hours. Richard Benjamin is an actor turned director.
Yes.
I personally know him from the original Westworld, starring with Josh Brolin.
Josh Brolin was in the original Westworld?
James Brolin.
Well, folks, I edited this out, but I fucked up a couple names during the synopsis of actors, and it just feels kind of nice to not be the only one. This movie made both of us about 10 IQ points dumber.
Here's something else. Even in my text to you, my private text to you, I have called Richard Benjamin Richard Franklin, and I think it's the dumbest thing my brain has ever done, because Richard Franklin is a director who has directed films like Psycho 2, and the reason my brain has confused them is because their name spells out Benjamin Franklin.
Well, I love that you showed your work on how you got to the dumb thing. On some of the standardized math tests that I failed in school, you could still get some points if you at least showed your work and they could understand how you came to the ridiculous conclusion.
Anyway, speaking of the crew here, Richard Benjamin, director, has done other seminal films like Mermaids, The Money Pit.
Of course.
He's not completely inept at comedy, so it brands a question mark at the end of this movie.
yeah. Well, instead of the X that is branded at the end of this movie,
it's Marci. So there's that. I also want to call out Paul Rudnick, who is the screenwriter.
Yes.
And let's go. Do you want to go into him now?
Yeah, let's go into him now. The scribe behind such films as In and Out, which we've
Addams
watched.
Family Values.
Yes, Sister Act.
Jeffrey. Now, what's interesting about him is that he comes from a inserting positive perspectives on LGBTQ, subject lines and themes into his films.
Yes.
Addams Family Values is kind of being reappraised as a queer classic.
Yeah.
I think I talked about that on a previous episode even.
Yeah. I mean, and In and Out, which is, I'm going to say, not a great movie, is notable as a movie from 1996 that at least depicts a man coming out as gay as an okay thing. Yeah. It's... it's not. I would say it doesn't necessarily handle the subject matter in the way that maybe a movie today would do it, but it does better than a Jay Leno joke about the Village People or something.
That is, holy fuck! That is the rubric I think for today's episode. We're gonna hold everything we discuss up to, is it better or worse than a Jay Leno joke?
And younger listeners may not know this, but Jay Leno was the most powerful and culturally relevant person in America for the most of the 90s. So, it's an unfortunate rubric, but that's where culture was.
And I think what is something to kind of take from his filmography to apply here is that he deals with those themes, but he also broadens them for a wider audience.
Sure.
And I think that's a small fraction of the problem in today's film.
Yes, I would say so. I would also just say about Paul Rudnick that looking at kind of the work that he was doing and also the plays that he was writing before he got into the film industry, he definitely kind of zeroes in on fish out of water stories. His first play was about a female Yale student attempting to join the Whiffenpoofs, which is Yale's all-male a cappella group. And I just want to circle that because it is it's both emblematic of, yes, this is a guy who does a lot of fish out of water stories, and also I cannot think of a fish and a body of water that I care about less than the Whiffenpoofs or any exclusive Yale organization.
Well, that is interesting to look at it that way. I hadn't considered that because you're right. This movie today is approached like a fish out of water story, and yet the story itself demands that it's a culture clash story, not a fish out of water story.
Yes.
And that creates a broken mess. I mean, it really fractures the premise of the movie.
The fish is out of water because the aquarium is shattered. Like, the fish is dying, and you're watching it, and you can only watch. You cannot help the fish.
It's one of those, like, melodramas where the fishbowl falling on the ground and watching the fish slowly dying in frame is, like, emblematic of what's happening to a relationship. Only the relationship is between the audience in this movie.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
The last person I want to mention as far as the crew is producer Scott Rudin.
Mm-hmm. Thrower of phones? That's right. That's what he threw at people.
Thrower of tantrums. Controversial figure of just a textbook, not even textbook definition. Like, they put it into Webster's toxic work environment.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
From the accusations hurled at Scott Rudin.
Yes, finally someone is hurling things back at Scott Rudin, who was, I think, famous for throwing office supplies at whoever was around when he was
Among
upset.
other things, like forcing assistants to take notes and dictation while he's taking a shit.
Oh, the old Lyndon B. Johnson maneuver. and Scott Rudin did not get the Civil Rights Act passed, so we are not giving him any leeway on this.
Yeah, I'm saying allegedly just because I wasn't there. I don't know what the official records are, so just for my own edification.
Yes.
This is what I've heard.
Let's not come too hard at notoriously mean Hollywood mogul Scott Rudin, who made the movie Marci X.
I will. Okay, now, listen. I'll go hard on him. I don't give a shit. He seems like a shitty asshole. Like, no problem going hard at him. I just want to, like, cover my legal bases. Mm-hmm. However, I dare say Scott Rudin maybe did an act of kindness to audiences with this film. And I'll explain that in a minute.
Mm-hmm. I think that we probably could have known about Scott Rudin all along because the word rude is right there in his name. Please start talking about the next thing.
Truman, were you aware of Marci X at all?
No.
Before watching it for today's episode.
I was in blissful ignorance of Marci X. The machine said, "You're going to watch Marci X," and I was like, "What?" And now I'm laboring under the stress of carrying that knowledge. What about you?
I wouldn't have been able to recall the title of it or anything from the trailer, but I would have been able to, like, if you asked me specifically, could you list Lisa Kudrow movies? I would have listed all of them off the top, analyze this, analyze that. Romeo and Michelle's high school reunion. Didn't she do one with Damon Wayans at one point?
Yeah.
Like, that's where it lived in my memory.
The exact sort of movie then that we usually cover, like really the epitome of what our show is about. It's like, I think there was a movie, I don't really know. Yeah.
Huh. So, had not seen it before. Watching the movie, I can honestly say, like, I don't think I've even seen a trailer for this. There was zero image in it that even tickled my brain.
Yeah.
Or my funny bone.
Yeah. Oh, New York Post review.
Burn.
Coming in hot. Yeah. It was weird because the day before I saw this movie, I saw One Battle After Another, and it's like
you just went from high to low.
Just the chasm between the two. It's like you see like a Great Dane standing next to a Chihuahua, and you're like, it's amazing. Those are both the same species. It's like. I went from seeing like the most movie to the least movie in 24 hours.
I think it was the New York Times review of this movie. One line from it was, a movie so broad you could see it from space. Which, man. I don't think that's even accurate. I think it's so broad, it's so thin that you see right through it. Like, you can't even acknowledge its boundaries. It's so wafer thin.
It's so shallow, you're not even aware it's there. It's not making any impression whatsoever. Right. Yeah,
exactly. Let's talk a little bit about budget and box office, because I did a lot of research for today's episode.
This ding-dong texting me all the time, like, I'm doing so much research for Marci X. I'm doing all this Marci X research, and I'm like, what is there to talk about? I don't know if we can crack 30 minutes on this fucking movie.
I want to correct you, and I don't mean to correct you, but
you do it like 4 times an episode.
I'm sticking up for my own integrity here.
Okay.
I never said I did Marci X research. I said
Okay.
I did research for the episode.
Ah, yes, that depends on what your definition of is. Very nice, Mr. Clinton. Please continue.
Well, mostly because there is nothing to research for this. There is like almost... Lisa Kudrow and Damon Wayans did not do publicity for this film. Almost no one outside of like retrospective offhand comments and other interviews has there ever been any mention of this movie. Damon Wayans has said it's the worst movie he's ever done.
And that's kind of saying something. I think you can kind of get a sense for this movie by looking at all the comments from all the people who didn't work on it. Like I saw that Chris Rock was offered this movie. I'm going to burn it now, Landon. I'm going to burn this piece of trivia now. He was offered the movie, and he rejected it. He said it was the worst script that he'd ever read. He said, I would have rather received Anthrax in the mail than this script.
Yeah. Yes, that is a quote I saw on IMDb.
And he don't miss. He don't miss. That's true. I kind of would have rather watched Anthrax for 84 minutes than this movie.
All right, folks, I just want to give you a preamble here, or preface, a word of warning. This budget box office section is going to be a little long because it's not only going to give us some information about Marci X and its release, but I'm following up on some research I promised I would do in the very first episode of this season, and I have learned what it takes to put movies in theaters.
Money?
But, I mean, specifically what kind of money...
American
how
money?
It works, etc., etc.
You use like routing numbers and like there's like you do a like QR code scan, something like that. It's a Venmo situation,
Venmo.
Right?
It's all Venmo.
They're doing movies on Zelle
now. Okay, let's go through some of our normals just to orient ourselves here. This was released August 22nd, 2003.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe should start having a sometimes category here of when the film was completed to compare it to when it was released.
Yeah, I feel like we've gotten a lot recently that gathered dust for some amount of time.
Might as well just mention it now. This was completed before 9/11, and then was delayed for 2 years.
They were like, America needs to laugh. We cannot release this movie right now.
I really looked for information as to why it was delayed for 2 years. The broadest info I could get was speculative, which was like, due to some of the potentially controversial material in it, studios didn't want to stir the pot at a sensitive time, and so just decided to hold off on its release and then bury it in 2003 due to a contractual obligation.
I just love that it was like the nation is already in such a fragile place. If we release Marci X, the cultural shockwaves could just send us into oblivion.
Well, yeah. Let's just earmark that because that's going to come back up, I think, when we talk about the editing of this movie. Yeah. This was released by Paramount Pictures.
Mm-hmm.
And do you want to guess how many theaters they put this into?
982.
Okay. I mean, given what it is, I would say that's high, but knowing that it's a wide release, I know that's low. You're a little bit off on the low side. Do you want to give it one more?
1,000.
1,200 theaters, approximately 1,200 theaters.
Okay, well, I was in the right neighborhood.
You were.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, what's the fewest theaters we can put it into and not get sued?
Yeah. Do you want to guess where it falls in the top 10 box office?
Oh, well below number 10.
This becomes our new lowest ever film released on opening day.
Hell yeah.
Number 17.
Mm-hmm.
It is gonna be hard to pass that. I mean, films in its... Here, I'm gonna just look at the top 10 right now because I gotta read it in a second here anyway. Coming in at number 16, right before this, is Charlie's Angels Full Throttle in its 9th week.
Woof.
Beats this in its first week.
Wow. I mean, God, the sequel to Charlie's Angels. Yeah, I mean, I'm for once kind of proud of my country. Like, people were like, nope, no thank you, I want none of this, and they made the right call completely.
Well, I'm not sure we put that on the American people. I think there's an intentionality in burying the shit out of this thing.
Okay, well then, I guess for one of the only times I'm proud of Hollywood for being like, we can't... I mean, the proper thing to do would have been to just, like, not release the movie and just pay everybody out, I guess. But then it gave us something to talk about all these years later.
I got some notes on that, which we'll get into just a second here. But just to give you a sense of the weekend of when it was released, here's the top 5.
Okay.
Coming in at number 5, Jackie Chan's The Medallion.
The Medallion?
Coming in at number 4, in its third week, is Freaky Friday.
Oh, hell yeah. Okay, cool.
Coming in at number 3 in its second week, the Kevin Costner directed Open Range. No, wait. Yeah, I got it right.
Yeah,
Open
it's
Range.
the Western. Yeah.
I for a second freaked out thinking, oh, no, wait, that's the Roseanne Barr animated barn movie. That's Open Season.
Wait, and then Home on the Range is a different animated movie.
That one is Home on the Range. Open Season is a squirrel one, I think.
No, that's The Nut Job. Or The Nut Job 2.
Oh, God. We've fallen back into our wild animated animal adventure.
You can take the podcasters out of the barnyard, but you can't take the barnyard out of the podcasters.
All right. Coming in at number 2 in its third week, SWAT.
Oh, yeah, SWAT. That was a movie. And then it's currently a TV show, right?
Is it really? It doesn't surprise me.
It's like
so's The Recruit.
Yeah, so's The Recruit, so's Tracker, so's 911 Nashville, and FBI.
Yeah. And then coming in at number 1, holding the number 1 spot for 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Da-da-da.
Oh, he's shimmying, he's shaking, he's dancing like at the end of Marci X.
No, I'm pointing.
You're pointing up?
Freddy vs. Jason.
Oh, I see. Yes, okay. At long last...
I'm pointing to all my Jason figures behind me.
They finally meet, and as I recall, it kind of ends in a draw, right?
I don't want to spoil it for folks.
Okay. What I remember...
I will say they don't even kiss, which is...
Okay, that would get me in the theaters. Also, I remember at the time that movie came out, people talking about, like, well, Bruce Campbell should be in it, like Ash from Army of Darkness should be in it. And I was like, if he was in it, I would actually see the movie, because I'd want to see him fighting Freddy and Jason. But
that was supposed to be the sequel, and then they made it into a comic book instead.
I hate when they do that. I'm not gonna read the comic book. Make it as a movie.
Okay.
Counterpoint. I wish they had made Marci X as a comic book, so I wouldn't have had to interact with it at all.
Here's some, just to finish out some of our normal talks here. This film only stayed in theaters for 4 weeks, and I wanna pull out this information too. It goes from rank 17 to 36, 63, and 96th in the box office in 4 weeks.
Is at that point, is it just playing on like one screen on one of the Aleutian Islands in Alaska? You have to like get on a seaplane to go watch the movie.
Also, what I was going to tell you, in theaters, it had 1,200, releasing to 1,200 theaters the first week, the second week. Then it drops to only 274 theaters in the third week and 82 theaters in its final week.
I would love to see a map of where those theaters are that showed it for the full 4 weeks, and then kind of like see like just educational attainment rates or like levels of like, like lead poisoning or like unemployment. What's going wrong with society there? What is the long tail of being exposed to that much Marci X?
Yeah, what's the economic impact of Marci X being put into theaters?
If you lived in a community that showed Marci X for the 4 full weeks, you may be entitled to compensation. Call this number.
This film had a budget of about $20 million. Now, I've done some research. We've been talking about the speculative marketing budget.
Your research is Googling, what is embezzlement? How to steal money from Scott Rudin.
So normally, okay, let me finish this out, and then I'm going to circle back to the marketing budget.
Oh, okay, tantric marketing budgets.
Domestically, on a $20 million budget, this makes $1.6 million.
Honestly impressed. Impressed it got that high.
Do you think it was released internationally?
No, was it released in like one weird country where it did really well? Like in San Marino, it's like the most popular movie of all time. Like how Baby's Day Out is the biggest movie in Thai history or something.
It might have been released in one country. Definitely wasn't the most popular, because internationally it makes $26,000.
Ooh. With the exchange rate, that might not even be any money at all.
I know. Which brings the total box office to $1.675 million.
Do you think their international release was just that they like showed it on a plane going to London or something, and they just factored in like people's plane tickets into the foreign box office?
Yeah. So here, okay, in the episode number 1, Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare,
yeah, we remember,
posed the question, how much money does it take to put a movie in the theater?
Yes.
And I did that research. And I'm glad I did it for this episode, because it puts those numbers we just went through into a whole new context.
Mm-hmm.
I'll preface by saying, starting in 2012, digital delivery of assets to theaters became like inconsequential in terms of budget.
Sure.
It's file sharing now. Mm-hmm. It's delivering a hard drive.
Yeah.
So
it's Zelle basically.
Yeah. The delivery of a movie costs virtually nothing. Mm-hmm. The printing of a movie is zilch, unless you are going to a specialty theater showing it on actual film. Is Tarantino showing Marci X at one of his theaters?
The 70 millimeter print of Marci X. You gotta, if you see it in VistaVision, it's actually pretty good.
Here's the thing. So in 2003, when this was released, that was not the case. And it still cost money to put this in theaters. Here's what I found out. For each print that you are sending to a theater, so if you're putting it in 1,200 theaters, you're making at least 1,200 prints.
Brutal.
Each print costs $2,000, roughly. So if we do the math on that, they spent more to ship Marci X to theaters than they made in the box office.
Wow. I'm trying to imagining paying $2,000 even simply one time to facilitate people seeing Marci X.
Yeah.
So, well, this is a question I have. So they go from 1,200 screens like 2 weeks later to 200 screens. You have 1,000 spare prints now of Marci X. Did they do like Atari did with the E.T. game in the 80s, where they just took all that out to the desert and just dumped it, steamrolled it?
No, they didn't, because we are here in 2025 watching this film free with ads on YouTube.
Yeah, but I mean, the physical copies, Landon. Like, sure, there's digital copies, but like, is the physical evidence of it, is it gone?
There's at least one, because when I was like, okay, there's no like oral history of this movie to learn anything about, I'm gonna have to resort to YouTubers talking about it. I found one video of a man talking about Marci X. He was an older gentleman, God bless his heart, and he held the DVD copy of Marci X up the entire time talking about it. And really, the entire video was him just watching the trailer without commenting. So
wait, so it's him reacting to, it's just his face reacting to the trailer?
Yeah, kind of.
It's akin to the 2 Chicks 1 Cup reaction videos that were so popular back in the day. It's like, what was something even more vile than that video?
Well, yeah, and I'm not taking this guy out to task. Like, God bless his heart for going out there spreading the word about his DVD collection.
I mean, that is kind of a flex to have Marci X in your DVD collection. That's like having a copy of The Day the Clown Cried or something.
Where was it? Okay, there's more information I needed to give for this. Yes, so there's been talk about what the fuck was going on here, and part of it, I think there is evidence in the film that we can pull out in our discussion to kind of figure out what might be going on. But some of the speculation was they were contractually obligated to get this into the theaters within a 2-year period of completion, and that's why they put it out. They weren't confident in it and found some of it problematic.
Oh,
and
really?
So didn't put any money into a campaign to advertise it. But still, made a poster, put it, in theaters, a trailer, etc., to try to generate whatever they could for awareness for home video release.
I feel like what we're going to find over the many, many years we'll make this podcast is that ultimately the biggest reason that forgotten movies get released is just entertainment law provisions in contracts.
Yeah.
It's like everyone kind of knowing this movie isn't good, but it like we have to show it or we will get sued.
It's an interesting question, and one that is kind of shrouded in the mystery of how the studios work. You look at wasn't it you that was talking about Men in Black and Forrest Gump basically being reported as never making any money because of shadowy accounting practices?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it seems so. I mean, and it seems kind of sleazy, but again, what else are you going to do? Pay the writers? No, you have to do anything to keep that from happening.
Yeah. So one of the other things about it being in theaters for 4 weeks is that is something that the theaters themselves can exercise.
Mm-hmm.
The way the pay scale to theaters works is upon opening release, that opening weekend, theaters take only about 30 to 40% of the box office. The rest goes back to the studio.
Mm-hmm.
The longer it stays in theaters, the more the theater itself is making. The percentages kind of flip. So the theaters will be making 70% of the profits versus the studios.
Sure.
So if on opening weekend, when they're only getting 30% of the door and it's making no money, and there are 16 other films in the box office that they can keep in theaters, there's no incentive for them to keep showing it. So with that drop off from 1,200 to 275 or whatever it was, like, that is maybe intentional on the studio pulling it, but also the theaters going, we don't want your fucking movie. Get this shit out of here.
Yeah.
We need to make some money here.
Taking out the trash. I'm trying to think, like, what's the, like, if I'm running a theater, what is my gimmick that I come up with to try and make some money off having to have Marci X on a screen? Is it like, if show your ticket stub for Marci X and get like $1 off your popcorn? Like, how do I turn Marci X into a way to sell concessions?
I don't know what this connective tissue was, but this is where my mind went. Show your ticket, and then on your way out the door, there's a dunk tank with like a dummy of Lisa Kudrow or Damon Wayans that you throw a ball and it throws them into the tank.
Okay, now here's the thing, though. You put Scott Rudin on that dunk tank. Boom,
there
you got me. I'm going for it. I'm not mad. I think honestly, Lisa Kudrow and Damon Wayans in this are both. I think they're both doing the best they can. I like both of them in this in terms of what they're trying to do, but I don't put it on them.
Let's start talking about it. I don't know that I agree with you in terms of Damon Wayans, but Lisa Kudrow, in my mind, generally speaking, one of the funniest women who've ever lived, and I love her so much and agree she is actually trying to do something here.
Yeah.
I do have a little perspective that she thought in a later interview, she said that she thought that she was making a movie about media outrage.
Yeah, I could see how you think that this movie is a different thing when you're making it. I mean, maybe she saw a different script than Chris Rock, or she responded differently. I like Lisa Kudrow quite a lot. Everything that I've seen her in, I've not watched Friends, so that's kind of like a big big hole there. But like I've always really thought she's very funny. I enjoy her delivery. She's on the recently canceled after one season Time Bandits TV series that Taika Waititi made. And while I don't think it's better than the movie, I think that her character in that is really fun and interesting, and I was consistently laughing at what she does. And it's just a shame that she's overshadowed in this movie by the actual funniest woman in history, Jane Krakowski, who, even though her role is cringe as hell and on the sidelines, she still is able to steal a bunch of scenes.
God, let's start this conversation about the movie by continuing to talk about Lisa Kudrow and Damon Wayans.
Yeah. Well, actually, before we do that, can I just I just want to like kind of. This is going to be sloppy, listeners.
Yeah.
This movie it's befuddled us. It's tough. You can watch the whole thing free without ads on YouTube, and it's great because you can. No, mine didn't have any ads. No one.
What?
No one was trying to profit off Marci X in my media market.
Here's the thing, Truman, and this is a legitimate note I had made, I think, the third time I watched this, which is
3.
I watched this with ads, and to bring listeners into the experience of watching this movie is so cringe at times that the cringiest commercial, and I'm talking about Quilton Northern, we quilt this city.
That is pretty cringe.
I looked forward to the ads as a cringe break.
You're watching the movie and you're like, oh my God, when am I going to learn about those Sherman bears wiping their asses? I miss them so much.
Like usually when I'm watching a movie or something that has ads in it, and it cuts to the like gambling apps, your fantasy football, like put your money in, you get free 500 free bucks if you do blah 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 whatever, and I'm like, okay, maybe regulation of some things isn't a bad idea. Maybe we shouldn't be, gamifying gambling addictions. Even that, I was like, thank God I have a moment to breathe from this movie.
Yeah, you're like, Viva Las Vegas. This is great. This is so much better than Marci X. Yeah, usually when I do have a thing that's free with ads because they can't do gambling ads in California, thank God, I instead get the same ad for a armed security guard company again and again and again, which is its own kind of dystopia.
Yes.
Look, the point is, listeners, whether it's with ads, whether it's without ads, it's free on YouTube. The thing about this movie is that basically every joke in it is just a white person who sounds like me or Landon going, "That's whack for shizzle. That's deaf as hell." I mean, it's
literal things you said at the beginning of this episode.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Did you think it was funny the way I introduced the episode? Probably not, right? Well, that's the entirety of Marci X. So I like anything we talk about, if we're not going into a lot of detail about what the humor in the movie is, it just really turns on, isn't it funny when white people don't understand hip-hop lingo from like 1987?
Yeah, but you know what, though? I don't know that I mean, 100% that is in here.
We disagree on the rich text of Marci X.
No. I'm just saying there are more elements to it than just that.
Yeah, it's like... it started bashing my brains in. That was the thing that like made me go crazy, is like, okay, I love Jane Krakowski and I will hang on her every word, but if I have to hear her say faux shizzle another time and have that be the scene out laugh line, I'm gonna throw my computer out the window.
I don't want to flatten the depth of confoundedness this movie delivers to an audience, because what you just described could be written off as like, that movie is terrible and I don't want to engage with it. This movie is terrible, I don't want to engage with it. But I have never seen anything quite like this movie.
I mean, I don't know. I've just seen bad movies that are so much more fun than this bad movie.
Obviously, yeah.
But we'll talk about that. I mean, I don't know. Do we want to go into their relationship, or do you want to talk about the way in which it's bad, like no other movie you've seen? Because I think you said that's kind of a big matzo ball that's hanging out there, if I may borrow one of the cultures in this movie.
I realize that, and it's like, it's so confounding that it's not like a compartmentalized thing that we can talk about. Like, it's the entire conversation that we're gonna have and are having. We really need to pull apart why the different elements that make this what it is. Let me start by saying this. This movie, I think, thinks it's a satire.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
And it's written from someone who writes broad and about topics, but directed by someone who doesn't have... He has a resume in comedy, but not super broad comedy in this regard, and not satire and parody. So there are moments in this where I'm like, its heart's in the right place, or it's like it's got a progressive attitude, but then it's directed kind of conservatively, and it ends up giving you this kind of schizophrenic product because it doesn't know what it's trying to satirize or parody. Like, there's so many scenes I can point to that we'll get to in due time, but that's kind of where I'm coming from it, where it's like, oh, that was a well-written joke, but directed in a way that threw it away and we didn't even really hear it. Like, here, let me give you a specific line. Great. Ben Feld, played by Richard Benjamin, the director, has a heart attack at the beginning of this movie.
Yes.
And they own a corporation that has accumulated a record label, and Damon Wayans is playing a controversial rapper who is compromising the reputation of the larger corporation because of what he's saying, his expressions.
Yeah. People who listen to the synopsis will remember these details. Yes.
Well, I know, but I'm just bringing.
I wrote a synopsis, Landon. I thought about this movie enough to write a synopsis.
But people won't understand what I'm about to say if I don't give the pretext.
Okay, great.
He has a heart attack because he sees something that not just what Damon Wayans is doing, but the news broadcast that is saying Ben Feld is going to take a hit because of this, and he has a heart attack right then and there. And it happens because he is whisked away from a gala, like a ball, and these people come into the gala and whisper into his ear like they're whispering to George W. Bush, the World Trade Center has just been hit.
And yes, but unlike that situation, Ben Feld is not responsible for the horrible thing that happened. So,
I said that as a joke, but also I say that saying I think there is an intentional correlation they're even on a screenwriting level trying to do of oh, we're making this timely, we're poking fun at the social issues or the things that are happening now. Or maybe not, because this was before.
Yeah, they filmed it before 9/11. Unless you're saying the cast of Marci X knew something about what was going to happen.
Only some of us knew.
Oh, yes, you who predicted 9/11, right, of course. Did you write Marci X, Landon?
I'll never tell.
That's a worse crime than knowing about 9/11 and not doing anything to stop it, is writing the movie Marci X. Anyway, continue.
9/11 aside, there is the...
Welcome to our discussion of the movie Marci X. Okay, we've got 9/11 out of the way. Now we can talk about the movie.
Okay. That's a commentary on socialite culture, on the elite, right? It's a commentary on the moral outrage, because in that moment, the reason he has a heart attack is he's watching a senator played by Christy Baranski, take him down. She's playing a Tipper Gore sort of proxy.
Yeah.
He has a heart attack. Oh my God. All of this just demonstrate a joke that gets thrown off. What am I doing?
We're talking about Marci X. We knew it was going to be sloppy.
He has a heart attack, gets in the hospital, and there's this scene where it sets up Marci on her journey to go and intervene with Damon Wayans. But the doctor, after having an exchange with the three of them, Marci walks out the door, and the camera is following her. The doctor, and the volume of this is played like it starts to fade out because she's walking out of the room. The doctor says, "Ben, you're a really sick man. Thank God you're rich."
Yeah.
And it's like, that's the sort of joke you end a scene on. It's a button to a scene.
Yeah.
And Richard Benjamin didn't get that and directs it in a way that, like, he's not amplifying the humor that is there.
Yeah, well, I mean, even as then she's walking away, like, down the hallway of this hospital from her dad's room, it's like there's nurses and, like, a nurse's station and stuff around, but the walls are all, like, mahogany and have really fancy signs on it. And if you're kind of paying attention to the background, it's like, this doesn't look like a hospital. This looks like a luxury hotel almost. And it's like, I think they're trying to, like, make some joke about this is how rich they are. Their hospital looks like a country club, but the camera doesn't linger on it. There's not like nothing built into the scene to actually turn that into a joke. Instead, the joke is she walks down the hall to the elevator, and then the door opens, and her three best friends, one of whom played by Jane Krakowski, like, burst out of the elevator and I'm going, "Oh, Marci, are you okay? Marci, how are you?" And immediately this, like, goofy best friends music starts playing.
And I would point to, like, anything the Zucker brothers did, or the Naked Gun movies, or anything the Wayans brothers did early on, where it's like they know how to shoot it to amplify that joke, even just through the frame. You look at any of the Naked Gun films, and it's like Leslie Nielsen is playing the scene straight, and it's a lockdown shot so that your eyes can absorb what's happening in the background and take in the juxtaposition and, you know, allow your brain to make the connection with the joke. You're right. This just treats it like it's a normal set.
Yeah, and I think it's that all of those other movies, you know, whether it's the Zucker brothers or the Wayans brothers or, you know, all these different brothers, maybe the Coen brothers too, I don't know. They all have a clear idea of what is funny about both the movie and the scene. And I don't think there's, I don't feel like anybody really knew what was supposed to be funny about this movie, or everybody had a different idea of that.
Well, I think there are really funny people working on this, and some of them include production design and costuming. It was the third time I watched this movie that I noticed Damon Wayans' costume at one point when he bails her out of jail.
Oh my god, the ultimate fit in this movie, had me rolling.
It didn't even clock in my head what I was seeing the first two times. It was just, you know, a pretty typical rapper outfit. I'm putting scare quotes around that. But when I saw it, I'm like, oh my god, that is fucking hilarious. The camera does not frame it in a way for your eye to ever absorb it unless you watch the movie 3 times.
He's wearing this big long leather coat and it's like they're like machine gun bullets make up like the teeth of a zipper going down it, and then there is the biggest like zipper tab, like the size of like Flava Flav's clock or something, that is like pulled halfway down. So he's like got this gigantic zipper. It's one of the funniest things in the movie is this costume he's wearing.
But they don't ever shoot it to make you aware of his costume, and that's where I'm like, Benjamin does not know how to shoot this kind of comedy.
Yeah, there's a scene where Lisa Kudrow and Dr. S, Damon Wayans, are riding in a limo together, and he's wearing this really big, thick fur coat, and he's talking about, you know, all of his look and his style and everything. And she says, "Oh yeah, that coat reminds me of someone." And he's like, "Who? You know, Biggie, Dr. Dre, or something like." I don't know. He lists 3 rappers. I'm not the guy who's going to list 3 rappers. I don't know 3 rappers. Biggie and Dr. Dre were all I had.
Biggie, Tupac, and DMX.
Biggie, Tupac, DMX, and she goes, "No, my Aunt Gertrude." Boom. End of scene. That's like that's.
Also, it was her Aunt Esther, but that's okay. It's okay. You made the joke.
What? Are you fucking coming after me for not remembering enough details from the film Marci X, which I watched twice, by the way. Sorry, I can't be in the 3 timers club over here like you.
No, it's. Let me ask you, because you don't usually watch movies twice for this show.
Forgive me, I have a high pressure job.
No. It's okay. No. I'm just saying.
Put my shit in the street.
It's surprising that you chose to do it for this one, and I'm just curious. Was it out of the novelty of seeing what it's like to watch a movie at double speed?
I mean, it was knowing that I had that power. The first time, I was like, first time on YouTube, there was times when I was like, I could bump this up to double speed and get on my day, and I'm like, no, I owe it to the listeners to watch it at regular speed. Although I did the first time when Senator Spinkle listens to the special song that Dr. S wrote for her and spends 3 minutes dancing to his awful rhymes. I did speed that up on the first go. But no, second time around, it was a factor of two things. One of it was that I had tried my best to come up with a way into talking about this movie, or like thoughts about this movie, or impressions, or like a unified theory of this movie, and I had nothing, and I was like, the least I can do is watch it again. And then also watching it at double speed when it's an 81-minute movie, I could really crush that shit pretty quick. It was my lunch break.
And that's why I watched it 3 times. I think I watched it on my lunch break at one point. When I watched it at double speed twice and then at normal speed once, which I think equates to basically just watching it 2 times.
What did you watch it? Did you watch it at normal speed the first time, or did you do 2 on double speed and then you're like, let me see it really slow so they all sound drunk?
I sandwiched it. I did double speed when I'm like, let me just make sure the machine's throwing us something that we can actually talk about, and then I'm like, oh, this is only 82 minutes. If I watch it at double speed, I'll just get a quicker taste. And then before I knew it, it was over. And then I watched it at normal speed, and then I watched it at double speed.
Okay. On that note, yeah, there was some anxiety from us of like, is this movie about a rich white Jewish lady trying to get into hip hop culture going to not be a fun discussion? And it's like, well, I mean, whether this discussion is any fun for anyone has yet to be seen, but like, I don't find the movie offensive on a like woke bay PC police, I'm liberal therefore I can't enjoy anything level. Like it's dumb. It's an insult to my intelligence, but it's almost like too broad to be offensive, I feel like.
Yeah, it's hard to talk about really because of that confounding nature. The movie, in its attempt to satire a moment in time in culture, which happened about 4 years before it was actually made, let alone when it was released.
Yeah.
In its attempt to, satire it and draw attention to the caricatures that, I think the media tends to portray, it then perpetrates those caricatures. So it presents rap culture in a very... some people could, let's call it problematic. I'm not offended by this either, but also, we're not part of the black culture or rap culture, and therefore whether or not we're offended does not matter.
No, certainly not. I also feel like we have a decent nose for when something is being egregiously racist, though, and it's not,
it perpetrates stereotypes and flattening of, certain cultures, which is not good, and I don't think it was its intention, which makes it so, like, bizarre to know how to even comment on it.
This is why I couldn't have, like, this is why I had such a hard time coming up with anything to say about this movie, because I don't really know if the movie knows what it's saying at all times, so I don't know how I can say anything.
For the at the risk of giving everyone whiplash and not giving you any context for where these things appear in the movie, there's a scene when Marci X, just Marci at this point,
she doesn't become Marci X until the final song,
until the credits. She has convinced, maybe, I don't know, there's a big section missing of the movie, I feel like,
of this 81-minute long movie. There's a section missing, you think? Interesting.
I think so. She gets Damon Wayans to, as part of his image, the image of the corporation that owns the label, to be part of a abstinence campaign.
Yes.
And what they've decided to do is they've gotten a boy band to sing about abstinence.
Yes.
And they decide, okay, let's do a rehearsal so you can see what you're working with and how you can fit in and comment on it, etc. And they watch it, and it's this, NSYNC type of song about abstinence.
Yeah, let's take it slow, let's date, hold
hands, we don't need to, whatever. And Damon Wayans being the kind of impish, I'm not going to sacrifice my expression for anything kind of character, says, okay, give me a minute with the boys, and we'll come back and shoot in a second. And so he goes off.
Clearly he's not up to anything. Okay, off you go, Dr. S. This is going to turn out great.
He goes off with the band and comes back, and they've completely changed the song to singing. The title of the song is now "Let's Date," and it's about,
being gay.
Being gay, yeah.
Let's all have sex with each other. We're men and we like to have sex with men, yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, this is in a vacuum, just like an encapsulated version of how insane it is to read this film, because this is written by a gay man.
Yeah.
It is taking the stereotype of boy bands being gay, to use a 1990s term, and I hate that I just said that, and presenting it as that joke, but also it also comes off like Damon Wayans isn't homophobic. He's like, let's I'm not gonna say empower these people to speak their truth, but it's not necessarily a homophobic song.
Yeah.
But then it is kind of a homophobic depiction of it, because it's all done in pink, and it's so weird. I can't get a beat on it at all.
It sort of traffics in some sort of rough stereotypes, but also like the lyrics they're singing about being gay are all kind of like, listening to it, it's like I could see this being a public service announcement today, being like, hey, it's okay if you're gay, enjoy it. This is like it's a good normal legitimate way to be. So it's also the music in this movie is a special kind of terrible, and we need to talk about the incredibly bad rap lyrics that Paul Rudnick wrote for all of Dr. S's songs. I will say though, the boy band tracks, both of them, the Let's Wait one and then the Let's Date one, which is just a gay refresh of it. Those songs actually slap a little bit. Like, maybe this is just me showing my true colors here, but I like the harmonies are really good, and the lyrics are come together in a funny way, and I think he has a better handle on skewering boy bands than he does on skewering the world of hip hop and gangster rap.
Yeah. But just to kind of wrap up my thoughts on it, it's like,
rap?
In another movie, this would be presented as Damon Wayans ruining the production by throwing in the, everyone being grossed out by the fact that he made it gay. But what it kind of feels like is that Damon Wayans is almost acting from a progressive or liberal thing, going, you are a bunch of fucking conservatives, and I'm going to like insert, gay positivity into your agenda here.
Yeah. I'm also like sort of curious about what his conversation with the boy band was like. It's like, he gets backstage and it's like, hey guys, so can you just rewrite all the lyrics to your song to be about being gay? It's either like it's either I know you guys are gay, so it's okay for you to sing about it. I Dr. S am telling you can. Like, what was that? Could I have seen that?
I don't know. I have no idea. It's so ludicrous. And that's
another
where it's
rapper.
Like, it is another rapper. So hopefully that just gives you a sense of why it's so hard to talk about this movie. I just don't know what the fuck to pull apart. I think it's time we talk about the 13 and a half minute sequence, and we can talk about the lyrics of the songs in this movie.
Yes. I will just say before we go to that, as a capper on the whole boy band sequence, they come out, they sing the gay version of the song, reverse shot of Lisa Kudrow sitting there in Video Village for the filming, being like shocked. All the rest of the PAs and directors and everything have just turned and walked away, seemingly in disgust. There is one clearly gay guy behind her who is clapping enthusiastically because, all gay people like gay stuff. But then, end of scene, next scene, now she's taken him to a benefit function. There is no, like, fallout from that, her trying to manage that situation. It's just, now I'm going to take you to a new fish out of water situation.
Again, it just seems like me correcting you, and I'm not trying to. But it's
I watched it 3 times. Look at me.
No, it's the nuance of what makes this movie so confusing. The rest of the crew doesn't walk off in disgust. They walk off in like confused shock, what are we gonna do about this?
Disgust versus confused shock. Okay.
Well,
Splitting hairs on Marci X.
I'm not trying to split hairs. I'm like,
how many Marci X's could dance on the head of a pin?
That's where I think it's trying to have the satire of the moral outrage, rather than I'm disgusted by the fact that these are, gay presenting people. It's, what are we gonna do about this? And it falls flat.
Yeah.
It's not directed in a way that, like, you get the shocked look on everyone's face of, like, what's going to happen? Oh, God. And everyone looking to each other. It's just, you kind of see them stumble out going, oh, God, I don't know.
And then that situation has been set up of, like, okay, well, how's he, like, how are they going to fix the situation? What comedy will arise? And it's just like, nah, we're done. New thing. Yeah.
Move on.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Is now the time that we talk about the music?
If we gotta. Oh my God.
We kind of gotta.
I know. It's just this 13 and a half minute sequence needs to be studied. It is an exercise in cringe escalation that I have never seen the likes of before.
I feel like I mean, I've had things on that we've watched in the movies for the show where I really am like, I feel the need to leave the room to get further away from it. I'm gonna say that the sequence in which Marci goes to Dr. S's show and meets him for the first time, watches him do a rap about the power in his pants, and then responds with a rap of her own, is really pretty rough. I don't know. Okay, well, look, it puts me in mind of the Playmobil movie because she's out there and she starts rapping, and he's kind of challenged her on stage in front of everyone. Like, she wants me to clean up my image, but she can't even rap. And then she, like, has a couple false starts, and then she starts doing this whole rap about the power of the purse. She's holding up her purse to illustrate this. And I'm like, okay, she's rapping, this makes sense. And then her three friends, Jane Krakowski and whoever the other two are, come marching out singing backup vocals. And I'm like, oh, fuck, this is a musical. This has been a musical the entire time. We're 20 minutes in and they jump scared me with a musical. And so it's similar to the jump scare of Playmobil being a musical, but I think I cringed less watching this scene than watching poor Anya Taylor-Joy trying to sing about how great passports are.
I completely disagree. I mean, I don't disagree with your experience. My experience was not that at all.
Okay. Talk about your experience. Safe space.
The Playmobil song that opens that movie at least has some sort of understanding of who it's appealing to.
Does it?
Has
their parents
some
die in
semblance.
The next scene.
Well, the song, Truman, not the arc of the movie.
Of course.
It knows what it wants to be. This one, okay. Before I talk about the songs, I think there's a very easy thing I can point to just to kind of calibrate how disjointed the filmmaker's understanding is of a rap show.
Yeah.
Which is their idea of a rap concert is that it is a packed audience sitting in seats. They're all just sitting in theater seats watching a rap show.
Yeah, it's like the big theater from Cirque du Freak. Everyone is in there to watch this rap show with a lot of like props on stage and like there's a lot of like almost Broadway style elements going on behind Dr. S.
This is the case of someone. Oh, Truman, I'm going to offend you intentionally. So this is someone used to going to a Steely Dan concert and saying all concerts are like this.
Paul, I'm sorry. Paul Rudnick, who wrote a play about the struggles of a woman trying to get into the fucking Whiffenpoofs, does not bear the mantle of a Steely Dan fan. He's not a sleazy little goblin like us Dan heads. He's something else. He's something else. This is a guy who, like, I mean, look, honestly, I'm not saying this because this is a gay man I'm talking about. I'm saying this because of the way the scene is set up. This is like someone who goes to a lot of Broadway shows, kind of assuming that the same level of theatricality applies to all concerts.
I mean, I don't even think Rudnick has anything to do with this scene. I mean, sure, the lyrics and stuff, but like the decision to choose the location, have the audience sit in seats, that's entirely on Richard Benjamin.
I want to give people some sense, because again, Paul Rudnick wrote all of Dr. S's rap lyrics in this, and the movie has done the thing that I think a lot of movies paint themselves into a corner with, where it's a movie about a really popular musician who has like really popular songs, and then it's like, well, when you do that, then you also have to write a really good song to put in the movie, and unless your movie is that thing you do, you're probably not going to be able to pull that off.
Or Simone.
Well, I mean, wait, what? Like, You Make Me Feel Like a Natural Woman was already there.
That's yeah.
Simone's concert, I think, where there's a bunch of like frat boys shirtless with Simone painted on their chests to go see a pop star versus like which is a more accurate depiction of a concert, Simone or this?
I think the audience that Simone is cultivating, that is a better depiction of what that audience would look like compared to this caricature of what people think a rap artist is and what a rap show looks like and what a rap audience would do and act like when they're at a concert.
Sure.
None of this is even remotely close to anything in reality.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not really much of an expert on the genre, but I will say that I think a really popular rap artist is going to have lyrics better than, you say you want the power to see, you say you want the power to be, you want to see the power and give it a glance, come on, I got the power in my pants. You know, I mean, people are going nuts for this. You say you want...
I wanna
yeah.
I wanna pull out a review, actually.
Well, Landon pulls up the review. You say you want the power is so fine, you're screaming for the power that's mine. If I showed you all the power, you'd go into a trance. I have you in my hour, the power in my pants. That's what we're getting. That's kind of the caliber. Oh, Landon's still looking, so you get a third verse.
No, I got it.
You say you want the power to come. You want to ride the power to the maximum.
Quit torturing everyone.
You say you want to use the power to enhance romance. Come on and taste the power in my pants.
There's a critic by the name of Nathan Rabin at the AV Club, and
Rabin,
Rabin. He initially, to your earlier point, said that this seems to be a series of skit ideas strung together. But I think this next part is a little more applicable to this, where he says that the film's knowledge of rap seems derived entirely from a brief encounter with a CNC Music Factory video.
Yeah, watched with the sound off.
You're adding an addendum to that?
I think, honestly, a CNC Music Factory video was on in the background at a party with the sound off, and the people who made this movie saw it and were like, that's what this is, right? That's what Dr. S is going to be like.
What cursed party did you throw this time with your silent movies?
I didn't throw any party. This was someone else did this.
Okay, all right.
But yeah, so it's like that. It's just been set up before this that not only is Dr. S wildly popular, but that his lyrics are so vile and offensive and terrible, and that this is what it is. Like this. Also, they finish this song, "Come and Taste the Power in My Pants," and then like he and all of his backup dancers have Roman candles or sparklers stuffed into their pants, and so they're shooting sparks out of their crotches at the audience, which is pretty camp. But
well, that's the thing, is like this is presented as like it's a Broadway show, not a rap show. Now, there is spectacle absolutely at hip hop shows, without a doubt. And, you know, maybe there are some specific elements for certain people that weave in, you know, gospel singers at some point, or choreography.
All of which they have,
you know, the DJ set, you know, like I'm not going to say that the individual elements that make this up aren't accurate to some, you know, rap stars shows, but the presentation of this is just like, this film is, on a side note, this film is obsessed with Lion King, the stage show.
Yeah, they talk about that a lot, don't they?
And it seems like that is their knowledge of how to put on a rap show. Is like, oh, I can stage that. We've seen The Lion King 3 times already.
Yeah. The thing is, this movie is trying to be a fish out of water comedy. That is what it says on the tin. But then they're not. They don't have a clear sense of what the new environment they're putting the fish into is. Like, they're not depicting it in terms of what it actually is, and it doesn't even seem like that much of a contrast from what her normal world is. Like, obviously there's like black people there, and there's like swearing and people using a different type of language, but it seems just as like camp and over the top as everything she's doing at the weird benefit functions.
Let's do something kind of unique here, because I'm not interested in playing Monday morning writing room on this particular movie. I don't think it's possible.
Don't write the movie. Make another movie about the fucking Whiffin' Poofs.
I want to just take a little tangent because I need it before we talk about the cringe of Lisa Kudrow rapping. Let's go into like screenwriter workshop for a second.
Mm-hmm.
Explain to me, in your mind, the difference in terms of the story arc or character arcs, narrative arcs that define a fish out of water story, like your Crocodile Dundees, versus a culture clash, like your Rush Hours, your what have yous.
I guess I don't really. Well, I don't know. I almost feel like a culture clash movie is more of like a group of people from one environment being in a different environment versus one singular person. But then again, Rush Hour is just Jackie Chan being in LA and trying to struggle with it.
But isn't the culture clash movie about unification by the end of it usually? Like, I've learned from you, you've learned from me, and together we can live in harmony. I just wrote that.
Oh, wow, better rapper than Lisa Kudrow. I mean,
whereas the fish out of water is like, by the end of it, who benefits from who, or what happens to the characters in a fish out of water story?
Well, I don't really know, because also Crocodile Dundee, one of your examples and one of the key examples in the genre, like it is ultimately a culture clash. It's him bringing the culture of the outback to the deficient culture of 80s New York, and by the end of it, he learns to kind of master the city in order to get the girl by yelling on a freeway, not a freeway platform, a subway platform.
But it hyper focuses on a single character experiencing the out of waterness. Whereas the culture clash movie is kind of an equal balance between the two. They're like kissing cousins, the two genres.
I don't know. I'm still having a hard time even defining the culture clash concept separately from the fish out of water thing, because Jackie Chan is a fish out of water in Rush Hour. These are the two emblematic examples we have of these two types of movie.
Shanghai Nights.
Shanghai Nights, okay, they go to London, and they're both fish out of water, and their cowboy culture is clashing with English culture.
There you go. Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, that's an interesting observation about Shanghai Nights. I don't know how you define the difference between them. I think that for it to work, you just have to create a recognizable foreign environment for the fish out of water character to be placed into, and and so it's like in something like the first half of Croc Dundee is this New York lady in the Australian outback. You, the audience, probably haven't been there, but oh shit, that's a big croc, mate. And then you see this dude who really knows his way around there, and the second half of the movie is this guy in New York. You probably know what a city is like. It's like, oh boy, watch him struggle with things I know how to deal with.
You just defined it, actually. I think talking that out, and I'm glad we did this. A fish out of water story is a culture clash, but it's a character clashing with an environment, whereas a culture clash movie are two characters clashing with each other that represent those different cultures.
Yes.
because there is a kind of unification by the end. It is that fish out of water either returning back to the water, having gained something from being out of it, or has become one with, the out of waterness.
Yeah. That tracks. I follow that. So by the end of Marci X, it seems like, yes, she has fully basically acclimated to the world of hip-hop.
Well, no, see, I think the courtroom scene is emblematic of the culture clash story, because the whole point of that, when they are trying to argue against Christine Brinkley, Christy Brinkley, is that who I just said?
Yeah, that is who you said. You roasted me.
I watched
so
the
many
Billy
years.
Joel documentary recently.
And you drank a bottle of red and a bottle of white before this. You roasted me so hard on the old podcast where I was getting Zachary Ty Bryan mixed up with Taron Noah Smith. And now look, it comes back for you, Landon.
I'm getting older. My brain is rotting from watching movies like Marci X. The point being, in the courtroom scene, the whole argument they're making is that there's different languages going on, and we can communicate with each other,
yes,
with teaching each other our lingos and what it means. And so it is a literal marriage by the coda of this movie between two different cultures. But your point, I'm not trying to dismiss your point. I think your point is very important, which is there is no environment. It's not amplified because it is a white person's view of hip-hop culture that they're putting a white person into, and therefore the out-of-fishness doesn't feel out-of-fishiness enough because there's no, definitive line for them to, we don't know where the surface of the water is.
Yeah. When you say the out-of-fishness, do you mean the out-of-waterness, or are you talking about the actual situation of I don't have enough sardines? We're lost in
I
our
was
own...
thinking more the skeleton was jumping outside of the fish's skin and going off on its own to live in the spooky dimension.
Yeah. Heathcliff has taken the full fish, dipped it into his mouth, pulled out the skeleton, and then you're out of fish.
Out of fishness.
Out of fishness.
That's the subtitle of the Heathcliff movie. Heathcliff back in fishness. That's the Heathcliff sequel.
I think, and the Heathcliff prequel is Wuthering Heights, right, with a soundtrack by Charlie XCX. So I think we need to talk about what Marci X does on stage, or shall I say just Marci?
All right, fine.
We've taken this big digression in this shapeless, amorphous episode. So yes, she wants Dr. S to clean up his act, and he basically calls her out on stage and says, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to go to this abstinence taping thing tomorrow unless
every rap show you go to, you love when the artist just takes a 10-minute digression to talk about what's going on in the news.
I mean, I don't know, I kind of feel like, honestly, watching an artist who has kind of a middle finger to authority vibe call a stooge from the record company out on stage and belittle them and tell them that he's never going to that would actually be kind of cathartic and fun to see at a show like that.
Yeah, but the movie's positioning you in the perspective of the person being brought out on stage, and thus we have so much cringe.
Yes, this is true. She comes out and she starts rapping. She does her rap about the power of the purse. And did I write down those lyrics? I did not, because I was cringing too hard. But it's just... it's this white lady rapping. She starts out talking about how she's rich, she's white, she's Jewish. How could anything be worse? But I've got one thing inside, the power of the purse. And it seems like at first... the point she's trying to make through her rap is, I own the company that owns the record label. I have the power of the purse. Yeah. This is why he has to do what I say, because I have all this money. And then it's
a big commentary on capitalism.
But then pretty soon she just starts naming different types of designer purses. And then
the things in those purses.
And that just becomes the rest of the song. There's one verse about how she has the power of the purse and kind of her situation she's dealing with, and the rest of it is just name-dropping purse brands for 5 minutes. And everyone is dancing around her. Everyone at the club is loving it. Like Jane Krakowski and company are marching around her, doing backup dancing and backup vocals. It's
okay. I want to reiterate this, lest our audience miss it, like one of us misses the joke, a joke in this movie that is just not highlighted. This sequence is 13 and a half minutes of an 81-minute movie.
Now, starting with Dr. S's rap,
yes,
and then a little talk backstage, and then her coming out. But yes, this is like the biggest, by volume, the biggest portion of the movie is this.
And before she raps, like the whole impetus for her starting to rap is she wants him to, clean up his act or have a talk with her about what they're going to do about this. And he's like, nah, I'm not going to do that unless you can, prove you're real. Are you real? And she goes, what? I don't even know what you mean by real. And he's like, well, I don't know. Can you rap? And she's like, yeah, I could give it a shot. And then she starts rapping. So
her first one that she gets booed off of doing, she just goes, hi, hey, hey. I hope everybody has a nice day. And I kind of like that one. She should have stuck with it. I think she could have recovered.
All right, I want to talk about how this sequence escalates the cringe, because it surprised me every 2 seconds. You've already mentioned, like, she does a verse of rapping, and then her squad, like, it gets excited about it. Oh,
they're waving their purses around.
It sent a chill up my back.
It's bad. It's bad.
So I'm already cringing at, like, oh God, Lisa, what are you doing? Don't do this to yourself. And then the squad comes out singing what you just sang, and I'm like, oh my God, I could feel my skin slowly peeling back from itself.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be in this room watching this right now. And then, like, the backup dancers start to get into it. The audience starts getting into it.
The fact that
waving their hand.
That all these people are like, yeah, this is good. We like this. We enjoy being here for this. What's your problem, Landon?
Moments ago, they were shouting, kill her.
Yes.
On stage.
Yes.
Like, that's another part of, like, they're trying to do a broad character, broad satire or, presentation of this sort of thing that could work in the hands of a Wayans brother directing it.
Yeah.
But here it's just like, oh God, it's just a bunch of angry people yelling to kill her.
Yeah.
It comes out of nowhere and there's no context for it, and it's just like, yeah, I don't think that audiences just want to kill people on stage.
Yeah, also, I mean, if you're trying to, like a big part of the controversy over gangster rap music was that it glorified violence or whatever, which, it's bullshit. But, like, none of Dr. S's lyrics are really glorifying violence at all. It's all just mostly sort of crude, juvenile sexual metaphors. So I don't see how the crowd is getting whipped up to the point of saying, kill her, when they just heard a whole song about how his dick is quite powerful.
Yeah. But then, like, I'm already like, oh my God. The fact that the dancers come out and it was clear they just needed to finish filming for the day because there's no choreography going on stage. Like, one guy just starts, like, doing one of these things.
Okay, well, the audience can't see the thing. I have to, but he's kind of pushing.
He's, like, walking backward. Like, it's not even quite a running man.
Yeah. It's a jogging
pushing
man.
His hands out.
Power walking man, yeah.
Yeah. And then, like, the gospel singers start coming out to, like, really amplify. Oh, my God. And there's a breakdown at one point.
Yeah.
Where they try to get Lisa Kudrow to I don't even know what the musical term is for it, but, your Lauryn Hill moments, your Christina Aguilera moments.
Yeah. Is part of the cringe also that, like, this was, like you were going to be loving this?
Yeah. This is going to be the center pole of our movie.
We're going to cut all the trailers out of this. It's also like, I'm not saying I wanted more of this in the movie. That is not what I'm saying. I'm not saying I wanted more Lisa Kudrow rapping about purses. However,
Truman Cap says ... I wanted more of this in the movie.
On the DVD cover of Marci X, there's that pull quote from me. I'm just saying the movie dedicates so much time to this moment and puts so much on this moment. You sort of think like, okay, so then is like a thing in the movie going to be they're like rapping back and forth at each other? Like she has this like, oh, suddenly out of the blue, she pulls out the ability to rap really well and gets the whole crowd on her side. Is it part of it going to be that Marci starts rapping? Like, is that what the movie is going to go with? But no, not really. Then it's just Marci taking him into a bunch of other situations where he stirs up trouble.
Which I got so confused by the coda of this movie, which turns it into a music video. Yeah. And Marci has become Marci X. She has created a brand. And I was like, oh, okay, she created a music label that is going to be supporting, artists with free expression. But no, Marci X, the label, is a fashion label, not a rap label, but she's rapping in a music video. I was so confused
also,
at the end.
Also, what little emotional through line there is in the movie is that after her dad first has the heart attack, he says, oh, I wish I had a son because I know you can't run the company. And she's trying to prove that she can. But then at the end of the movie, rather than like her ending being, I used my business acumen to like run a record label and be in the music industry, it's like I started a fashion line, which like still great, but it's like, but that's not the you didn't like, you're succeeding in a different industry than the one that you were just like working in the music industry.
Yeah. Let's start talking about some of these other elements of this. There's the moral outrage portion of this. There's the corporate takeover portion of this. What do you think is what's most interesting to you?
The moral outrage thing, I think, was really fascinating to me. The whole thing of, like, everyone is called out of this benefit at the beginning because this rapper released a song with a bunch of really racy lyrics in it, and now, this conservative senator and all these, like, moral crusaders are picketing and boycotting this corporation for putting out his music, and
it's calling on, like, real-world history, but from, like, 15 years earlier. This is like Ice-T putting out, the Cop Killer song.
Yeah.
This is about fuck the police. This is, Snoop Dogg being arrested and like the controversy that early emerging gangster rappers had on, the moral crusaders of the time. And so the fact that she's playing a proxy to Tipper Gore, who was in the zeitgeist 10 years earlier, is like, boy, as a satire, you sure have your finger on the pulse.
It has big script written in 1995 energy, and then it just like, oh, they greenlit it now. It's one of those things where watching it, but like I can imagine watching it in 2003, it didn't feel especially relevant because by then the big kind of cultural what is this doing to the children thing, it had moved from gangster rap to video games. But like,
and torture porn.
But then to look at it in 2025 and see like this notion of a nationwide moral panic over like rap lyrics when like at the time we recorded this like 2 days ago, it leaked that like hundreds of young Republican staffers for congressmen were texting each other about how much they love Hitler and like saying the N-word and all this stuff. And that is like not even really breaking through. Like the idea of just like a moral panic about rap lyrics and knowing that actually happened within my lifetime, it's dizzying to think about just where we're at now. Like now, no one gives a shit what is in music. It's not that no one is making a thing about that.
Yes, mostly because there's not as much of an impact on culture for as much music as there was. Well, I don't know. It's just whatever. That's a whole other conversation. The thing is, the point I wanted to make is that this also came out in a time when the rap landscape was evolving so rapidly. Like, this was right at the tail end of the period where hip-hop blossomed in the 90s, and by the MTV TRL era, it had really, really caught on to the suburban white kids across America.
Sure.
And so
Not
that
one,
was like
but...
in 99, in 2000. By 2003, none of this, I mean, this felt dated in 2001 when it was completed, let alone 2003 when it was released.
Yeah. I feel like, weren't there like a few movies, like is it like Xanadu, I think, comes to mind. There were a lot of movies about like disco or like discotheques that like in the late 70s, they were like, oh, this new craze is hit. We need to get these movies made. And then like 1982, all these disco movies are coming out.
Yeah. In fact, there's a Friday the 13th Part 3, which is 1982, had a disco theme to it, and it's just like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Just,
you are not reading The Room, guys.
Or you read The Room, but it just took a little too long for your reading to get through.
Yeah. So then one of the other things I want to talk about is actually, as we transition out of this 13.5-minute agonizing scene into the next scene, which is the abstinence scene.
Yes.
Like, it goes from, I will talk with you if you can prove you're real, to her rapping, to him being part of her world now.
Yes.
And this is where I did some research to see, was there anything cut out of this movie?
Yeah.
Is there evidence that this had been tampered with? And no one has said anything. There's no official record that there are deleted scenes.
Code of silence.
That said, I can easily see, and I told you I was going to give you a Scott Rudin jump scare.
Oh, boy.
I think we got to get this movie down to its bare minimum, and having a conversation scene in a boardroom between Damon Wayans and Lisa Kudrow that ties those two scenes together needs to be cut. It does not matter. Get it out of there. We can just assume that he's going to work with her. And I think there's evidence of this throughout the film, because short of Alexander Payne intentionally bringing back the scene-to-scene wipe transition in, I think it was The Descendants.
Yeah.
I've not seen a movie use an editor use a wipe to get us from scene to scene. I am certain that Scott Rudin went through this and said, we got to make this releasable. We need this to be bare bones. And I think he went through and cut out a lot of material to make it what it is.
Look, it does feel, yes, like there are big chunks of the movie missing and kind of clunky edits between them, and kind of, a shot of a limo going along and an 80-yard line of Lisa Kudrow going like, thank you for coming with me to this benefit, or something, to kind of stitch it together. But at the same time, movie with a runtime of like 81 minutes, 84 with credits, there's a lot of places where I feel like the opening credits to this movie, which are just like this very big, very like badly like Windows Movie Maker like montage of like pictures of Dr. S on like album covers and Rolling Stone covers. But my
note was that it feels like a first pass at After Effects.
Yes, yeah. It's just it's like cut and pasted like a slideshow, like Newgrounds.com. But this opening credits just like shots of him with like diamonds in the background and fancy cars, and like it's all set to a terrible, terrible rap song called "Eat the Beat." Lyrics include "Eat the beat, gobble it down. Eat the beat, I learn the town. Eat the beat, best meal around. Eat the beat, yummy yum yum. Eat the beat, serve a plate till you come. Eat the beat, every crumb. Eat the beat, come on, give me some. Eat the beat, don't it taste good? Eat the beat, back to the hood," etc. This scene is going on. Eat the beat, I know you could. Eat the beat till it hurts.
Okay,
eat the beat,
all right.
Dessert.
We don't need to do
more. But
more.
It goes on and on and on for like 3 minutes, and I'm watching this. I'm like, the only explanation is they must have like stretched out these opening credits to try and hit a certain runtime. So is that happening at the same time as Scott Rudin is going there karate chopping other scenes out of the middle of the movie?
Probably. So my guess is like he probably cut some scenes out, and then it was in the like 74 minute, 70 between, like, just that weird middle ground of like, this can't technically be considered a feature film.
Yeah.
And so adding that first credit sequence and whatever they did with the ending credit sequence together, I think that's absolutely possible.
Yeah, so it's just he chopped it so far. It's like, we need to shorten this movie up, and then he shortened it too much, so then it was left in the hands of some poor editor to lengthen it by another 5 minutes to get it into the safe zone.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, well, look, since we're all over the map, I just ask you, is Damon Wayans good in this?
Okay, so yeah, I alluded to this earlier. No, I don't think so.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, it made me start to question how I feel about Damon Wayans generally, but I'm going to just keep it focused here. I think this is one of the more... I think Lisa Kudrow is trying something.
Yeah.
I think Damon Wayans realizes the reality of what he's in, and it is one of the most, like, I'm going to do this while pitching a sketch that isn't going to get on air on Living Color.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm going to do a character that's, like, barely a voice. It's like, I don't believe that he's in it at all. In fact, there are these moments throughout the film where, like, I almost feel like he breaks character because he's enjoying being with Lisa Kudrow so much.
Yeah, I mean, I'd probably have the same problem. She seems great.
Yeah, I do not think he's particularly good in it. He's passable just because of his innate talent, but...
Is it the scene where they're riding in the car and she says, when black people make love, is it like when white people make love? And he goes, no, and then he starts laughing and he says, because it's good. Like, the way he laughs there, it does seem sort of genuine, like he's just, like, having fun on set in that moment.
Yes, and it doesn't matter. I was about to go into the nuance of that scene again, but yeah, it doesn't matter. There is a moment there where it's edited, the editing of that sequence, of this whole fucking movie, but that sequence in particular just... was like, oh, we ran out of connective tissue, so edit in part of the outtake to make it look like they're laughing with each other.
Yeah. This movie also is a really big fan of speed up, slow down helicopter shots over the New York City skyline. You dump one of those in, they're in a new place.
Those ended up on my Apple TV screensavers.
Oh. That's great. You can just always look at those whenever you haven't, pushed the button on your remote in too long. I think he's good in this. I think the movie is terrible, the role is terrible, the lines are terrible. I think he's putting a lot of charisma into this role. I mean, he's up there and dancing and he's like, swaggering around, and it's like I totally agree with you. Like, I think he knows the movie sucks, but he seems to at least be trying to have fun with it and put something into this character who is very thinly written.
Yeah, where I disagree, I think, is because I grew up watching In Living Color. I watched that more than Saturday Night Live growing up. There are a number of other, like, not that Blank Man has anything in common with this movie, but Bulletproof, The Last Boy Scout. Like, I've seen him do this shit before.
Yeah.
Like, he's not making a choice he hasn't done 1,000 times in other skits, other characters. Like, this just feels like, okay, I know what will get this through. Like, to me, that's why I'm saying his innate talent can, like, play the charm even if the soul isn't there for the charm. Like, he knows the beats. He knows what
Of course he knows the beats. He's eaten the beats many times. He's gobbled it down. He's eaten the beat. Yummy, yum, yum.
There's a moment during the agonizingly long rap sequence when Lisa Kudrow has all those false starts, and she goes, okay, give me a beat, and she fails, and then she goes, okay, give me another beat, and Damon Wayans goes, okay, we're running out of beats. Give her the one you gave me. And it sounds exactly the same.
Yes.
It is the same exact beat every single time.
What I do like is they're starting that off, though, is like she's had the false starts at the rapping. She goes, okay, now listen, I know I suck at this, but it's my very first time. And I was like, honestly relatable. Like, you'd win me over. It's like, yeah, I mean, this is your setup to fail here, Lisa Kudrow.
That's Lisa Kudrow bringing it all to this horrible movie. Yeah. I also found that, like, give me that throughout the film. Make that the character.
Because it's moments like that. Like, I don't think that her character is really, like, I don't know, oblivious or daft enough for this to really work, because she has a lot of moments like that where she shows some actual like, that's a pretty self-aware thing to say, and I think that it never really seems like she's that ill qualified to be doing what she's doing.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I don't know that the movie even disagrees with that, but it just doesn't know how to amplify the character in any kind of way, because there are moments when it's like, oh yeah, we want to be a girls can do it too, y'all movie, but then it's like it cuts from that to a different satire altogether and then fails at that, and then when it comes back to like tabloid culture, like we haven't even talked about that and how it's trying to skewer tabloid culture of the time, the Paris Hilton era, the Britney having a meltdown era. There's a Princess Di joke in this. Like, yeah. There's a Donald Trump joke in this. Can we talk about that for an hour?
They're having a celebrity like win a date with a celebrity auction. This is after he's fucked up the boy band recording, and what Lisa Kudrow is auctioning off is like, okay, we'll start the bidding at whatever for a romantic evening with Donald Trump, and there's just like crickets.
I think a literal cricket plays on the soundtrack.
She says something like, I'm sure he's changed, right? And Jane Krakowski's out there and says to someone like, you don't have to touch him. And you know what? I gotta say, to this movie's credit, we watched like Made in Manhattan on the last podcast. No, not Made in Manhattan. 2 Weeks Notice. Might be.
2 Weeks Notice.
Very different. We watched 2 Weeks Notice, where Donald Trump fully shows up, makes a cameo as like one of Hugh Grant's friends, and the movie's presenting it as like, hey, here's this friend of the main character who's just a cool guy, Donald Trump. Like, at least this movie takes the role of like, he's a disgusting creep in 2003.
and that's another like mark on the calendar for how do I read this movie? I have no idea. Like, you are signaling that your politics are one way, but then your gross characterization of an entire culture is like, well, I don't know what's happening here. Because, yeah, there's also one thing we didn't talk about is the producer of Dr. S, who is in jail.
Yeah. And
he is a proxy for Suge Knight. Mm-hmm. And I have no sympathy at all for Suge Knight. But, like, that guy had a lot of things to talk about. The reason he was in jail, the culture that put him there, the actions that he did that put him there. And this is all playing it as a joke. Like, he's a kingpin running a record label from the jail cell. He's got a TV and music set up in the cell. Again, not shot in a way that makes it a joke, just kind of the general tapestry of the set.
Yeah.
Again, the Suge Knight stuff happened like 6 years before this movie.
Mm-hmm.
So it's tone deaf in ways that are kind of staggering.
Yeah, I'm trying to think, what was the thing that happened in 2019 that you would like see that like to do a bit about in a movie now? Is it fidget spinners? Like a character like being really obsessed with fidget spinners in a movie now?
Well, I'm not gonna. I'm not taking the bait of equating fidget spinners to Suge Knight, but your point taken. It's like satire works when you have your finger on like a nerve, like a social nerve, and in trying to find that nerve, this movie just kind of pokes you in the eye accidentally.
Yeah, or it's like the kids at this benefit it's a benefit for kids who have no feeling in their arm, which might be one of the three funny things in this movie.
Yes,
it's like
yes.
This benefit for kids with no feeling in their arms. And you just get this shot of these two sad-looking children on the stage with their arms hanging limply at their sides, and a nurse to demonstrate pokes their arms with a fork, and the kids don't react, and everyone's like, oh my. But yes, the movie is abrasive in that sort of way. So yeah. Marci X, won't you?
Do I have to?
Where it winds up going is do we want to talk about the nightclub scene and the African dance, or do we not want to talk about the nightclub scene and the African dance?
Do I have to? Rule of thumb. I thought we learned from Krippendorf's tribe, but if it needs to be stated, anytime you are a white person and you are dressing in traditional African garb, I think you either need to really have trust in the filmmakers knowing what they're doing, or you need to recheck your priorities.
I'm trying to think of what filmmaker I would trust to be like, no, he's telling me to like put on traditional African garb. You know what? No, all right, okay. Okay, Mr. Cohen, I'm sure you'll do a good job with this. Ethan Cohen, who's been directing such good movies lately.
Ari Aster, maybe?
I don't know. I just don't know.
Yeah, I don't either.
The scene. This is the scene where inexplicably Marci and Dr. S fall in love. They go to one of Dr. S's nightclubs, and Marci gets pretty high along with her friends, and they go out on the dance floor and do this interpretive dance about an African princess looking for love.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's cringe. I honestly found this more cringe than her rapping. But it's like it's this dance routine that she's narrating, and she's got Jane Krakowski and the other girls like backing her up, and they've like wrapped their mink coats around their heads like their African headdresses, and then it ends with like some like African tribal music playing, and then like Dr. S comes out there and he's like the king who she's found through this interpretive dance thing, and they start making out, and then his love interest, who's like kind of J-Lo, Christina Aguilera type.
She's a combo of like J-Lo meets Lil Kim.
Yeah, it comes in and starts some shit, and the gun comes out, and it winds up like they're cat fighting, and then Lisa Kudrow gets arrested. The point is like that is like from that experience, then they're like a thing and they're together. But then eventually he writes this song about her that he debuts at the Grammys that is called "In the Butt," and it's all about how he likes doing it in the butt. And then they break up.
Is it the Grammys or is it the MTV Music Awards?
Is that the thing that matters? Is that the linchpin to the carefully nested plot lines of Marci X?
No, only because there's they make such a big deal about the MTV Movie Awards or the Music Awards, and then we cut to the venue, and it starts with like the awning moving, the camera's moving down in your Boogie Nights type of shot, and
just like it.
It says MTV Awards. But as it's going down, I think even MTV got wind of this movie, and they're like, "Yeah, you don't have license to use our logos."
Yeah.
In fact, I know you have your dialogue saying MTV, but like, can you shove it in there that it's like meant to say musical television? Like,
yeah,
you can't use music TV.
Yeah. The M stands for Mehmet. It's Mehmet Oz's award show. But so then this whole blow up happens, and then they get hauled in front of this congressional committee to like, why did you release this album in the butt? And it's like they're also on trial, which is not how Congress works. But
no, not at all. And then so the way this wraps up, and I just want to highlight how I want to highlight how like we need to end this film. Just like we need to end this episode.
Yes.
We need to end this film energy this movie has. After the congressional hearing where it's like, okay, they're done. They're at a point where, like, how are we going to get out of this?
They're going to shut down the label or go bankrupt,
exactly.
Something.
Yeah, our reputations are gone. No one's buying anything. Damon Wayans is seeing kids on TV saying he's so whack. And the reputation, both as an artist and a corporation, is in tatters. And Damon Wayans is like, gets this idea. His next album is going to be called Playin' Dirty, and he's going to dedicate it to the senator. He sends it to her, and her son, who we've seen once before in this movie, tells her to listen to it, and she does. And she dances to it, and Truman fast-forwarded this moment.
I did, although I then later went back and wrote down all the lyrics. Like, it's not just his new album. His plan comes from the title of his next album. This is his plan to play dirty. He's recorded this specific track especially for Senator Spinkle.
That is endorsing her vote. Vote Spinkle. Do you have more lyrics? Do you have... Oh, God.
Vote for Spinkle. Yeah, you heard that right. Vote for Spinkle. I seen the light. Vote for Spinkle. That's what I do. Mary Ellen. That's what I'm sellin'. That's what I'm yellin'. Soon you'll be jellin'. Come on, Senator Spinky. You're on the brinky. Don't need no shrinky. You make me kinky. Vote for Spinkle. She's the one. Vote for Spinkle and keep your gun. Vote for Spinkle because she's pro-life.
Right.
Vote for Spinkle. Don't tell your wife. Yeah.
Twinkle,
twinkle,
she
little
starts...
Spinkle.
No.
You're in the
pinkle.
pinkle.
Stop. Good God, please stop.
Okay. So just on Wrinkle.
Oh my God.
But yeah, she's getting into it. She's dancing.
She starts like Mrs. Doubtfire dancing almost, and
sort of. Mrs. Doubtfire did it better.
She takes her robe off and she's in a negligee, like kind of scooting across the floor in her computer chair. She does a Broadway number up the stairs, and then
so much Broadway.
She does she leans back over the banister and falls into a split, and then she stands up and her eyes are cross-eyed, like kind of indicating that she got orgasm by listening to this music. And then we go back to the congressional hearings. Or no, we don't. We go to the back offices.
Yeah,
right?
They've requested a private meeting with Senator Spinkle.
Yes. And in this meeting, it turns out her son had recorded her, gave the tape to Damon Wayans and Lisa Kudrow, and they blackmail her into not only dropping all moral outrage, but saying, actually, y'all need to go buy this new album. It's one of the greatest things since the
Mormon Tabernacle Choir. I don't know.
No, she says it's one of the most important texts since the Constitution. And make sure you go buy it. Don't burn it or download it.
Yeah. I do love the "you wouldn't download a car" messaging even in this movie. It's weird because it's both such a rushed and ham-handed way to end your movie, but also we're watching this woman dancing around her house to this awful song for so long, guys. It's such a long scene of her just first she's kind of tapping her toe, and then she's shimmying her shoulder, then she's standing up and she's drinking her wine, she throws her wine in the fire, and then she strips off her dress, and it's just end. The movie could be 75 minutes long. I would have appreciated it, Scott Rudin.
When you have Broadway star Christine Baranski, you gotta give her a moment in the sun.
Would you call this sun? You would call this sunlight that she's in?
No.
This is like her. This is like
her. It's a moment, though.
It's a moment under a burst sewer pipe, is what it is.
That's very true.
That's my quote on the DVD of this movie. Yeah.
So they win the day through blackmail. Cut to our coda, which is simultaneously we get the American Graffiti, what happened to each character in title cards and through lyrics.
Yes, they're all singing about.
So Marci X and Mr. S. Dr. S.
Yeah,
sorry, he didn't go to doctor school.
Yeah, he went to deaf medical school to come on, man.
They got married on Oprah 3 weeks later.
Oh, isn't that cute?
The squad of Lisa Kudrow through this created their own rap group and went 5-time Grammy winning with a track that I don't even want to repeat.
Yeah. Well, this is also where they sing their line about, email us at ho.com. Which that's gonna stick with me forever. I'm just gonna say I'm not saying I approve of it or I like it, but it's gonna stick with me forever.
I do not endorse people going to ho.com, by the way.
That's our Christmas episode. That was last week. Although I honestly, hearing Jane Krakowski do that line, it does make me feel like that it. Everything she does in this movie, everything I see her do in anything, it's like this is like a 30 Rock bit, right? But I could really feel like her telling Liz, you can email me at ho.com.
Okay, so you said you did not write down the lyrics to this last song?
I didn't, but we can pause for 2 minutes and I can get them for us if that would help.
No, it's okay.
I
don't think.
Or I can play.
Okay.
I can drop a clip of them in.
Don't do it
right now.
No, I don't want to lose monetization on YouTube simply because we dropped in a clip of fucking Marci X.
Yeah, because we're making so much money off of
not now
off of this,
but maybe in the future.
Well, I mean, I think what's going to be extra funny for listeners is if they've just heard a clip from Marci X and then they come back into the episode to hear you saying that you don't want me to put the clip from Marci X in there.
Some of the other codas we get are that the Suge Knight character, whose name is Tubby Fender, I think.
Yeah.
Has changed his name to T-Fibby.
Yeah, which is that's just what, a P. Diddy joke, basically?
That's a P. Diddy joke, yeah.
Great. It's fun.
Giving none of the already caricatured actors or characters any kind of like actual resolution to their stories at all.
No.
Playing their Marci gets to create a record label. The girls get to become rap stars and Grammy artists
at ho.com. Yeah.
Tubby Fenders just gets to be T-Fitty.
But watching it back now, yeah, he's real down. He's total sex. He made parole in Marci X, is what he's telling us. Well, yes.
Okay, he made parole.
And Senator Spinkle starts wearing Marci X's fashions. She gets reelected and is now dating Al Sharpton. So,
oh God,
don't we love an Al Sharpton joke from this general time period? Who's a black man we can make fun of? Yeah. So yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, Spinkle's reelected. Good for her. And then yes, of course the boy band group, they're now out here dressed like the Village People, and their new tour manager is Senator Spinkle's son, who is very clearly coded as gay. Why did they have a young boy choose to manage their he was not going to be good at that?
I don't know, because he was a fan.
I guess he also seems to be a fan of Dr. S. He should be managing his tour, and then
Maybe
Marci's dad, Ben, starts dating the Christina Aguilera parallel, and he's out there doing this song and dance in a. Oh yeah, and this is the director of the movie. That's right. Yeah, he's out there in a green suit and top hat and fur coat with a cane.
Yeah. He is.
This ending song and dance sequence, it's like, don't get me wrong, it's bad, but also the kind of energy of it, and it's like this feels like something that sort of progressed intact from what the movie was originally supposed to be. Like the way that Marci is out there narrating all this, it's everyone dancing in front of a white background and going up and down stairs, and there's background dancers. Like, this feels more like, yes, we're a full-throated musical than all these other things where it periodically just jump scares you with some rapping.
How do you feel about movies that end with the collective cast in a song and dance number?
Honestly, I'm kind of up on it. I mean, I don't know, Buckaroo Banzai, does that count? I mean, Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou, does that count?
Okay, well, you're pulling out two incredible examples of
Damn
it.
right
I'm thinking like the end of Hitch.
Oh, wait, do they all dance to
Heavy D?
Yeah.
Now that we got love, what are you gonna do with it?
I mean, I guess, well, Mamma Mia ends with them all doing...
Well, that's a fucking musical.
Well, that is... But no, but like literally, it ends with them all dancing, and then the credits end, and then Meryl Streep like comes back out and is like, you guys want another one? And then they do like Dancing Queen one more time.
Okay, I kind of like that one.
Yeah,
just because it knows what movie it is.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. If only Marci X had the clarity of vision of Mamma Mia. I don't know. I kind of like I like the idea of a movie that has not been a musical, kind of then jump scaring you with everyone doing a song and dance at the very end. I guess I also think of like Something About Mary kind of does that.
Oh yeah. Build Me Up Buttercup.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of that one, yeah.
Yeah, if it's sort of a weird flourish, I don't know. But I like,
yeah.
I'm not saying like one battle after another didn't need that or something, but...
The 40-Year-Old Virgin has that whole Aquarius number.
I love that. I think that's also very fitting for the end of the movie, because it's also like, the whole movie is about one thing, and then it's like, well, he did the one thing, now what reality does he exist in?
Yeah. I will say about this one, like, I thought for sure I was done with the cringe. By the time this came on, I'm like, oh, God, okay, fine, you're just going to cringe me out the door. But then it had a hidden cringe in it, because there was just something about how much they don't understand what rap is and how to present rap in an authentic way, or just like any way at all, that I couldn't help but like think about Damon Wayans and Lisa Kudrow and basically the whole cast at this point having to go into the recording booth separate from being on set filming this. Like, you are in a recording booth having to sing the song.
Yeah.
And then you are on set having to lip sync to yourself singing this song.
Mm-hmm.
It was just like a level of shame I felt for other people that I almost can't recover from.
Yeah, I mean, counterpoint. There's a lot of sequences in the Joel Paul Riesig film A Dog for Christmas where characters or actors are doing kind of embarrassing or demeaning stuff. And those people were non-professional actors who got paid maybe like $100 on Zelle or something to faceplant in the snow outside a house in Michigan. At least all of these people are like SAG actors who are making a day rate for doing this, or like yes, this is degrading and humiliating in many ways, but they all got their nut, you know? They made money.
It's fair.
Money over everything, Landon.
Yeah, you can't stop my human empathy though.
But Landon, cash rules everything around me. You know?
Everything around you, but not me.
Yes, this is true. You're in Wisconsin. Dairy rules everything around you.
Literal cream rules everything around me.
Oh, boy.
Oh, let's end this episode. Why do you think this film was forgotten?
I mean, look at it. I mean, like...
I don't want to.
Like,
I'm done looking at this movie.
I'm actually literally looking at it right now because I had to pull it back up to get some of what was happening at the end here. Yeah, it's like this thing. Like, I read on Wikipedia something about that. So obviously it's true, but this movie was sort of fast-tracked by Scott Rudin Productions because they were worried that there was going to be a potential writers and SAG strike coming up, and it was just
you
sort
mean
of
the production of it was?
It was rushed into production, yeah, because they were just worried that like we got to get something made because they thought there was going to be a strike at this point.
Okay.
And so it just sort of came together super fast, and I think it was just a thing that they rushed out there without giving it much thought, and then everyone saw what they had and said, "Oh God, we're ashamed." They feel the same feeling that we felt watching it, which is shame, except they have the additional shame of knowing that they're responsible for it being. So they didn't put it in a lot of theaters and didn't promote it.
That makes a lot of sense because now I understand how you get someone like Richard Benjamin to direct this, of like someone who just is a technician, kind of knows how to hold a production together, do it quickly, get something in the can, and because he has, he's a terrible actor in this movie, and we didn't get to that question at all, but he can like, oh God, we don't have enough time to fill this, father character, I'll just do it. Mm-hmm. Like, I some of the decisions start to snap into place when you talk about that rush timeline.
Yeah, I mean, I like also what it's saying on here is that the way that they found Richard Benjamin to direct this was Scott Rudin said 1, 2, 3, not it, and then Richard Benjamin was the last person to say not it, so he had to direct the movie. That's what they actually canceled Scott Rudin over. It's the 1, 2, 3, not it method of pairing directors with projects. It's really brutal stuff. Why?
Oh my God!
Why do you think this movie was forgotten?
Thanks, Andy. I think that this movie was forgotten. I mean, it was designed to not even make the imprint on the culture when it was released, and I think anyone that maybe sought it out in that first wave of home video was like, I'm going to rent 3 movies over the weekend. We're going to watch 2 of them. And on Monday, when I talk to my coworkers over the water cooler, I'm going to forget what the other one I watched was. And that movie was Marci X.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't even see getting as far as renting Marci X. I'm looking at the poster for it. I don't see the tagline "Hip Hop meets Shop Till You Drop" is not inspiring me to pick up the VHS case and take it to the front and rent it.
Yeah, I know. I think a certain sect of the population might.
Fair.
Just like you're like, oh, hey, I don't know. We need just grab some options. What about we like Lisa Kudrow on that TV series?
Yeah, that TV series, The Comeback.
Yeah, this is right before The Comeback, by the way.
The Comeback fucks. So that's a good show.
This is just why was this forgotten? It was never remembered. Period.
Good. So really, kind of doing the wrong thing by even talking about it. We're upsetting the natural order of things.
Yes, and talking about it long enough that you could watch the movie 2.5 times at double speed while listening to this episode.
Try it. Maybe it'll make it better. Maybe this is the secret sauce to enjoying Marci X.
Should we send this back to modern memory from 2003, where we're hovering right now, or should we leave it forgotten out here in the depths of space?
Leave forgotten, obviously. What about you?
Yeah, easily leave this forgotten. I do want to caveat that I think this could make some interesting research material if you are doing like a thesis on pop culture of 2001 to 2003.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's just like a weird look at what's going on. Like,
is it though?
When
it's a look at what was going on in the mid 90s, and it came out in 2003.
That's what I mean. Yeah, when you're trying to like have a counter example to all the good examples that you have in your thesis paper, this is, you can define what was happening in the culture by a film that completely failed to capture it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's weird that you roast me for talking about a movie to have on in the background at a party, and then you pull out an even more obscure use case for a movie, which is if you're doing research for a thesis about the culture of the early 2000s. But whatever, man. Live your life the way you want to live your life. I mean, at least my thing is like a party where like your friends are over and you're having a drink. Yours is like dork homework shit, but okay. So now what?
So now what? Let's end this episode.
Okay. Let's go into a song and dance sequence about what we all did after we finished recording.
All right. For next week, when we wrap up some odds and ends about Marci X, for Truman Caps, I have been Landon Solano.
And for Landon Solano, I've been Truman Caps. Go bust a move or some shit like that. I don't know.
Bustin' makes me feel good.
Movie Memory Machine is part of the Gruntwork Podcast Network. Join our Patreon at patreon.com/gruntworkpod to keep the machine running. Theme song by Porky's Groove Machine. Rate us on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen. For more information on today's show, visit moviememorymachine.com.